Hello and welcome to Team 8610 ToborTech's OnBot Java tutorial. Here are the topics we will be going through today, and let's start off with what is OnBot and why is it used. OnBot is a web-based Java programming tool through the FTC app. It utilizes Wi-Fi Direct to connect your PC with an FTC legal phone. Compared to Android Studio, OnBot has a shorter download time to the phones, as well as a smaller learning curve and a simpler UI, whereas Android Studio has more complex options for more experienced programmers down the road. OnBot programming requirements. In order to program with OnBot, you need one FTC legal Android phone with the latest FTC robot controller app installed. You will also need one PC with JavaScript-enabled web browser, for example Google Chrome. But you can enable JavaScript in almost any browser. Running OnBot. Step 1. Connecting your PC to the programming mode server. On the phone, run the robot controller app and select Program and Manage. It will show you a screen with the name of a wireless network, the passphrase for that network, and a web address. On your PC, connect to that wireless network and then run the following Chrome address. That address is also shown on the phone. In order to find the correct network and passphrase to access OnBot, you will need to navigate to the Program and Manage section of the Robot Controller app. So first, open the FTC Robot Controller app. Wait for it to fully open, otherwise it will give you an error. Then select the three dots. Go to Program and Manage. And then it will give you the network, the passphrase for that network, as well as the website for OnBot. Once you have gone to Program and Manage on your robot controller, it should give you a wireless network name as well as a passphrase for that network. You will want to connect with Wi-Fi to that network, so you need to disconnect from your regular Wi-Fi and connect to the specific network for that phone set. The first time you will log into this network, you need to enter a case-sensitive passphrase. Once it is connected, enter the following URL into your search bar. It is important to note you will not have an internet connection while you are connected to this network, so be mindful of when you are connecting. Uploading and downloading files using OnBot Java. In order to upload a program that is already on your computer, select the Upload Files button in OnBot. Then select the program you would like to upload from your File Explorer. Click Open to open the program in OnBot. Select the program and then you can continue to edit. In order to download a program that is already in OnBot Java, right-click on the file name and then select Download to download it to your computer. Once at that site on your PC, select OnBot Java and you are ready to write an OP mode. Click the plus symbol to start a new program in OnBot and click the wrench symbol to compile and install a program onto your phones. In order to create a new file in OnBot Java, click the Add File button, name your file, select the folder that it will go under, and then select the program type. Then click OK to create your program. It will create your program and then you can write your code here. Once you have finished, select the wrench tool, or the wrench button rather, to build your code. Assuming you have no other errors, once in a while it will throw you a false negative, but all you have to do is build again. Otherwise you can go back and edit if you have any errors in your code. Ideally, your code should be structured as follows. You have a central hardware program where all of your hardware and functions are defined, and then you have whatever number of programs you need that reference a hardware file that are used in competition. By keeping all of the functions that would be useful for multiple programs in one central program, you don't need to define them every time you create a new program. Any OnBot file needs to start with a capital letter and not have spaces. If you want to have a name consisting of multiple words, it is best to write it in the following format, with no spaces and each new word being capitalized. For the hardware file, select Not in OP mode and check Disable. This prevents the hardware file from being visible on the driver station when you are selecting competition programs. Structure of a Java file. You have import statements that will be included when you first launch your OnBot program. You have the class, the attributes declaration, the constructor, and then all of your functions. Creating a simple teleop. In order to make a simple teleop in OnBot, name the file similarly to how you named the hardware file. This time select teleop and do not check disable because you want to be able to select this program on the driver station. Later, if another program replaces the program, you can add the line @disabled as you did in the hardware file to make sure it does not appear in the driver station selection. Structure of a teleop program. You have the teleop annotation, the class, and the code to run after you hit init on the driver station, and the code to run after you hit play on the driver station. Initialization. Initialization is the time between when you press the init button on the driver station between when you actually press the play button. The initialization stage includes any code within the run up mode method and before the wait for start call. This section helps declare helper variables, map hardware to those variables, and perform any initial computations. During the init stage, as well as after, you'll see different variables and other text at the bottom of the driver station, which can also sometimes help you identify errors. Telemetry. Telemetry is a tool to use if you want to print out information onto the driver station phone screen. It can only be accessed in a class that extends linear up mode, so teleop and autonomous. Below you'll find an example of how to display telemetry on the phone screen. It is very useful for calibration as well as error analysis.
Setting up your robot. To start setting up your robot, start with connecting the battery to the robot. Then turn on the robot power. Make sure that there are no programs currently being run, otherwise your robot might drop off, and that would be no good. Connecting your RC to your robot. Plug in your robot USB into your RC. It should open the FTC Robot Controller app immediately or automatically, and if it doesn't, that means that there could potentially be connection issues with your wire.
Configuration. Telling the robot controller the names you have given to your devices. For example, motors, servos, etc. You have to make sure that things match up with the names you have given devices in your program, as well as in the configuration that you have done on the phone. This is crucial to making sure that your program will actually translate to the actions of the robot.
Configuring your robot continued. In order to configure your robot, press New, press Scan, then click into Expansion Hub Portal 1, Expansion Hub, then go to Motors and whatever other parts you have. Select what kind of parts you have. In this case, we're using an Everest 40. Then name it. It is important to name it the way that you did in your program so they can match up and the robot associates them. Then once you have entered all of the names in your program, click Done, Done, Done once again, then click Save. It will ask for a name for that configuration. Enter the name you would like, then click OK. Wait for it to load out, and then press Activate so you can use that configuration. Connecting the gamepad to the driver station. In order to connect the gamepad to the driver station, make sure your gamepad controller is connected to a central hub that then connects with USB to an adapter that can connect to your phone. Then once all of those wires are connected, press Start A or Start B, depending on which driver you are, to connect and initialize your gamepad so it registers on the driver station. Then once you are ready to run your program, select the program that you would like to run, then press Init, wait for it to initialize, and then press play and you are ready to run your program.
Creating a simple autonomous. Once again, you need to follow the same naming protocol as the other files, but this time select autonomous. If you find that your driver station is too full of programs, look into removing some of them by adding the line @disabled. Generally, the drive station can store up to 10 programs and still be reasonably easy to use for selecting programs in competition. Encoders are built inside of motors and record the current tick of the motor. They are extremely valuable to determine how far the robot has traveled and are used in autonomous to drive the robot forward for a certain distance. You can see them used in programming on the right. IMU, which stands for Inertial Measurement Unit, is a measurement tool built inside of the Rev Hub. It measures the heading of the robot, and when the robot is initialized, the heading is 0. IMU is an important tool used for rotation and maintaining a straight path in autonomous. Here are some functions for you to use if you are programming autonomous in OnBot. Feel free to pause and use them as a reference. Programming with multiple people. When programming with more than one person or device, you have to be careful about version control. For example, using GitHub with Android Studio, so the latest program will be available on different phones. How to share a program on a different phone. Use the download and upload feature by OnBot. Download the program to your PC, connect your PC to a new phone using Wi-Fi Direct, and upload the program from your PC to the new phone. Here you can see how to download and upload to and from OnBot. In conclusion, OnBot is a very useful web-based tool to program with the FTC app. Some of the pros include that there is no need to install Android Studio, which saves you a couple of hours. There's a small learning curve compared to Android Studio, and quick upload installation time takes seconds as compared to minutes using Android Studio. However, some of the cons include that there is no version control. You have to manually download and upload to share the files. The editor is limited to the web browser feature, and the compiler occasionally gives immediate false complete messages. You have to recompile. If you have any follow-up questions, please email us at ToborTech@gmail.com. Thank you!